Ni hao, motherfuckers. As the title suggests, today, ladies and gents, it ain't gonna be me giving you my wisdom on Tekken. No siree. We're gonna be getting wisdom from a far more ancient source. We're gonna be looking at Sun Tzu. Now, some of you unread peasants, uneducated motherfuckers might not know who Sun Tzu is, but I'm sure many of you already do. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, bruh, are you really about to be this motherfucking pretentious? Are you really about to use Sun Tzu, one of the greatest military minds, and try to apply his thought to Tekken? And my answer to you, hypothetical person, is fucking yeah. Sun Tzu's wisdom is useful for more than just actual warfare. In any endeavor in life where you require strategy and competition with other people, Sun Tzu's got some shit to say. And for some of you, this might be an introduction to this stuff. And I honestly think that there are fewer, how do I put this? There are fewer frameworks more useful for trying to wrap our head around the concept of competitive Tekken than that of literal warfare. So without further ado, let's fucking get into it. All right, so introductions. For those of you who don't know, the 6 of you who don't know, Sun Tzu was an ancient Chinese military strategist and philosopher, best known for authoring The Art of War, a foundational text on military strategy and tactics. His work has influenced not only military thought, but also fields such as business, leadership, and strategy, emphasizing the importance of adaptability, knowledge, and psychological insight in achieving success. All right, and that's why we're going to come to this motherfucker. This ancient Chinese motherfucker knows a lot about how to defeat enemies, and that's what we're here to do, is it not? So I have boiled it down to essentially 5 tips that I think we can extract from The Art of War, and I've also sourced some more wisdom from some other philosophies I look up to. And as a quick aside before we get into it, I highly recommend, regardless of who you are or how old you are, maybe read some Sun Tzu. The Art of War is a great book. It's very easy to find. You can find audiobooks of it as well for free. I'm pretty sure they're on YouTube. They're really good. A little bit of personal stuff, but like I've had periods of my life where I've been like kind of depressed or feeling a bit like a loser and things haven't really gone my way. I've had numerous of those, to be honest. And I have found oftentimes the people who have helped me the most have been philosophers from times past. Sun Tzu is on that list. Miyamoto Musashi is on that list. I'll quote some of his stuff later. Epicurus from the Stoicism school. It's been very useful. So if you're someone whose life is perhaps not going as well as you want it to, or feels like, I feel like I've lost my way, you could do a lot worse than checking out some of the ancient philosophers. So, you know, just gonna put that out there. But back to Tekken, okay? Tip 1 from Sun Tzu. Let's hear it. Victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. Sun Tzu. Plan for what is difficult while it is easy. Do what is great while it is small. Also Sun Tzu. And last, this is probably his most famous quote of all of them: know your enemy and know yourself, and you can fight 100 battles without disaster. Okay? Now, Chad Lao Shu's translation. Lab your fucking matchups. Lab your matchups. It's non-negotiable. I've said it before in other videos. I'ma say it again. Tekken is a game of matchups. Far too many people come into this game thinking, oh, I want to get good at Tekken. And they talk about Tekken as if it is one game. Tekken. It is not. Tekken is like, I don't know the maths, but probably something along the lines of like 312 games. It's Jin versus Jin. It's Jin versus Alyssa. It's Jin versus Asuka. It's Jin versus Brian. It's Jin versus Eddie. It's Jin versus Steve. And then it is Steve versus Brian. Steve versus Eddie. Steve versus Alyssa. It's individual matchups. And your goal as a Tekken player isn't just to learn generic Tekken. The goal actually is to learn each individual matchup, right? And I think it's really helpful to you mentally to view Tekken in this way. Because I think a lot of people are like, why am I not leveling up? They're thinking way too broadly. Why am I not ranking up? Why am I not leveling up? Why am I not winning more often? And, you know, I've been playing Tekken for 100 hours, 200 hours, 300 hours, 3,000 hours. Why am I still losing, blah, blah, blah? And it's like, well, actually, your wins and losses often have a lot to do with matchups and your individual matchup knowledge. You might have played thousands of hours of this game, but how many hours have you played with your character against Athena? Not that many, right? How many hours have you played in your matchup against fucking, I don't know, against Xiao. But that many, right? So you shouldn't be surprised when you lose matchups that you're not knowledgeable about. And your goal should be trying to improve your individual matchup knowledge. I am often very surprised by how people underestimate the importance of matchup knowledge. Like, intellectually they know it, but then you watch them and you'll be like, okay, but are you actually labbing though? Like, you just lost, you're in a losing streak, right? Let's say I'm on a losing streak, I'm very frustrated, I've B ranked. Okay, that happens to all of us. No matter how good you are, we have losing streaks, we have these missions, it gets on you, okay? That's fine. Here's the question though. Of those matches that you've lost, have you gone to the replay once? Have you studied it once? No. You've probably instead run to Twitter or YouTube or Facebook to complain, which, okay, fine, interesting strategy, right? But more often than not, there was at least one thing or two things or three things or seven things that if you had just known, the entire match would have gone the other way. And I can't stress enough, very often rounds of Tekken and matches of Tekken turn on small pieces of information. I actually have a demonstration for you of this, okay? But ignorance changes tiers. I can't stress this enough. Tier lists don't matter if you have not labbed the matchup, right? I can't put into words how far a little bit of knowledge can take you in this game. I'm actually going to demonstrate it. I've used this example numerous times before, but it's very important, I think, that you see what I'm talking about. All right, here we are in Tekken, okay? Asuka is, by many people, considered a fairly low-tier character. I think she's a low-tier character. Some people are debating it now that fucking King Ray Jr. won one tournament, but I think she's a pretty low-tier character, right? But the fact that she's a low-tier character doesn't mean anything if you can't deal with this, okay? This string is mid-high, right? 13 frame, and if the second hit hits you, look at that damage. That's real damage. That's real damage. Okay? Okay? That's real damage. That's real fucking damage, okay? Also, this. She's got this, right? Right? Heat engager, right? The first hit, high crushes, natural combo. It's real shit, okay? Now here's the thing. If you do not know to duck these highs, okay? If you don't know to duck these highs, Asuka is an S-tier character. She's an S-tier character. She has S-tier poking if you do not know how to duck these highs. Like, S-tier poking. If you do not know how to duck these highs, there's a very good chance you're about to lose to Asuka. There's a very, very good chance. She's S-tier if you don't know how to duck these highs, all right? But if you do know how to duck these highs, oh, all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, your odds of winning the matchup skyrocket completely. I want you to imagine yourself in like two separate universes, right? There's like there's an alternate universe. There's one universe where you know and have trained yourself to duck the high, and there's another universe where you haven't. I'm telling you, even if everything else is the same, your matchup knowledge about every other character is the same, your optimal combo route is the same, everything else is the same except for this one piece of knowledge, your win rate against Asuka is significantly lower in this universe where you don't know how to deal with this than in the universe where you do. And that's just one string. And very often, each character learning to deal with 4 or 5 of their like most common, most high reward strings can turn what were previously horrific matchups for you into cakewalks, right? And I have to be honest with you, I'm playing Xiaoyu currently. I've been playing her for like 2 months, just kind of learning the character, approaching the 3 months. I made Tekken King. My combos are shit. People laugh at me. I had people in the stream laughing at my low parry combo. It's trash. And I have got here mostly from my defensive knowledge, right? And being able to exploit the holes that other people essentially have in their game, right? And which is going to be another one of the tips that comes up later. But full disclosure though, worth knowing that she does have mids that cover those options. For example, she does have this, right? And if she hits you with this, okay, you get knocked down. Not the end of the world, okay? But it's also minus 12, so, you know. All right, so we're playing Tekken now. She also has this to cover the heat engaging string, right? But it's minus, oh wait, hold on. But it's minus 15. It's minus 15. So by ducking those strings, you end up forcing your attack to have to use the rougher, the more risky option. And that's what you want, right? Now you're pushing her from an S tier character down to B, right? You're pushing her all the way down. And that's what you need to do with every character in the game. There are some characters in the game that you can probably do that with. You know them well enough that you can actually push them down to, you can make them go from gods to mortal, right? But I don't really want to hear you complaining about the tier list in this game. If you're not already, like, if you're not punishing the stuff that is already punishable. Like, I actually run a lot of lobby games in my stream now. Like, we have a lot of people in our lobbies, and we actually have a surprising amount of Alyssa players, right? And sometimes people will just bitch about Alyssa. They'll be like, oh my God, Alyssa, she's so fucking strong in this game. She's so ridiculous. And don't get me wrong, she is. But oftentimes, those players who are bitching are not ducking her 3-1. They're not ducking it. And I'm like, respectfully, you got no business complaining about the power of this character if you're not even dealing with the aspects of the character that are deal-withable. Do you know what I mean? Like, finish your plate first, then you can ask Harada for nerfs. Know what I mean? Like, finish your plate. There are more productive things you can be doing than complaining right now. Finish your plate. Once you finish your plate and you're still having to deal with the high-level mix-ups, which are still real, by the way, then we can talk. But a lot of you motherfuckers out here who are complaining about stuff have a lot of things that there's already within your power to control that you're not controlling. So I would recommend deal with those first. And that's true for every character in the game. Every single character in the game. Okay? So let me get back to my shit. So back in the game, right? 70% of the outcomes are predetermined. Now, this is not a fact. I pulled this number out of my ass, which is why I put an asterisk there, right? But I actually think it's quite helpful to approach Tekken with this mindset. When the match is about to start, get ready for the next battle. Real talk, the outcome is kind of already been decided, right? Because it's really going to come down to which of you not only knows your character, but perhaps more importantly, how well do you know the opponent's character? That person is going to win, like, most of the time. Like, genuinely, most of the time. And so, a lot of getting better at Tekken happens outside of actually playing Tekken. A lot of it comes down to just preparation, doing your homework, doing your research. And again, I know nothing I'm saying is, like, groundbreaking right now. All I'm saying is, like, watch your replays and lab matchups. But, like, it's the truth. Like, that's the great thing about wisdom. Very often, wisdom isn't complicated. Oftentimes, you just need to be oftentimes in life, you just have to be reminded of stuff that you already know, but then you're not doing it. You know what I mean? And this is one of those things. Lab your matchups. If you are, I don't care what rank you're at. If you are at rank X and you're like, man, why am I stuck at rank X? Why am I not progressing? 9 times out of 10, study the replays and you will find, oh, it's really just matchup knowledge. And that's the way all the way up. Now again, not always the case, but it's a lot of the case, okay? A lot of the case. All right, tip 2. To secure ourselves against defeat lies in our own hands, but the opportunity of defeating the enemy is provided by the enemy himself. Next quote. It is best to keep one's own state intact. To crush the enemy state is only second best. Okay? Chat translation, defense now, not later. This ties very neatly into tip 1. I'm not interested in your combos. I'm not interested in your perfect godlike combos or your super tricky Ogi setups. Defense is what separates the bad from the good from the great from the gods, right? It really is. And even in Tekken 8, as brain dead as we often feel, it feels like it is, as brain dead as we often say it is, defense is still like the gatekeeping stat. It truly is. And I know you're thinking, oh yeah, well I saw a fucking God of Destruction Alyssa with 43 defense. You're right. You can scam your way up there. But here's my question. Are you trying to be good at Tekken? Or are you trying to have a nice PNG? Those are 2 separate questions, all right? If your goal is to get good at Tekken, then ignore that. Your goal is to be powerful in this game. You want a power that cannot be removed by nerfs. Those players you're talking about with the fucking God of Destruction, Alyssa's with 45 defense, make no mistake, when season 2 comes out and the nerfs come, and they will come, those motherfuckers are going to come crashing down. The same way that a lot of assassinas came crashing down, right? Even Dragunovs, as powerful as Dragunov is, a lot of Dragunovs that managed to sleep their way all the way to the top or fight their way all the way to the top got dropped all the way back down. Same with Victors, right? A lot of these, and this is going to happen. So if you are a character who's relying on your offense to climb, it's a temporary climb and it won't work, okay? But your defense, that'll stick with you, okay? So you got to focus on defense more than anything. And you have to have a defensive mindset. Again, when you're thinking about how do I improve, how do I get out of rank X, whatever rank X is, whatever it's orange ranks, red ranks, purple ranks, blue ranks, even god ranks, really think about, you try to make yourself invincible. That's the goal, all right? And so just as there's a lot of matchup knowledge, there's also like a lot of fairly generic knowledge, right? Learning to backdash. Korean backdash, even though it's not as powerful as it was in 7, still very useful, right? I'm not gonna make a guide on it. There are plenty of other people that make guides on it. Learn to Korean backdash to get out of tight situations is very useful, right? But also, learning to break throws. Learning to break throws is one of those things that a lot of players kind of think, wow, that seems really hard. I guess I'll worry about that later. No, not later. Do it now. Do it now. It will pay dividends. And when you can break throws on reaction, honestly, your power level goes through the roof. Because all of a sudden, you can now stand there fearlessly. You'd have to duck less often, right? And don't get me wrong, you'll never get so good that you'll never get thrown. Even the best players in the world get thrown. But like, being able to break those with more consistency will improve your will improve your win rate across all matchups, right? Simple way of improving. Check this out, right? All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Check this out. Okay, all right, so throw exercise. Check this out. This is Asuka's 2 throw, right? Requires 2 to break. This is Asuka's 1+2 throw. Requires 1+2 to break. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Okay, that's a 2 break. That's a 2 break. That's 1+2. Look at her hands. Tell the difference. 2, 2, 2, 1+2, 2, 2, 1+2, 1+2, 1+2, 1+2, 1+2, 2, 1+2, 1+2, 1+2, 1+2, 1+2, 1+2, 2, 1+2, 2, 1+2, 1+2, 1+2, 1+2, 1+2, right? 2, 2, 2, 1+2, right? 1+2, 1+2, right? 2, 1+2, 2, 1+2, switch sides, 1+2, switch sides, 2, 1+2, switch sides, 1+2, switch sides. Now we're on this side, right? So we have to get used to seeing the animation on this side. 1+2, 1+2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1+2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Literally getting used to visually recognizing and confirming it is just a matter of practice and time. And I promise you, if you can block Snake Edge, you can break throws consistently. But it won't happen organically. You won't learn to break throws just by playing Tekken and getting thrown. You have to spend deliberate time in practice mode getting good. Just like tip 1. A lot of it is about preparation. A lot of the outcomes of games are about, have you done the preparation, yes or no? And if the answer is no, you're going to be free to throws. Now you might be thinking, I hate drills. I'm here to have fun. I just want to boot up Tekken and play the game. And I think it's bullshit I have to do these fucking extracurricular stuff to get good at the game. Here's the thing. Good news. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. You never have to do drills in this game. Ever. You can just pick the game up, go into ranked, and play for the rest of your life. There is no law saying you have to do this. But if you do that, I don't want to hear you bitch when you get thrown to death. Because you're making the choice. You who chooses not to prepare absolutely should lose to the players who are sweaty enough to practice. This isn't a party game. Like, that's how it should be, right? So you have the call to make. Do you want to be really good at this game? Then you kind of need to be able to react to throws. If you kind of want to be average at this game, then don't worry about it. You're fine. But that's a call you have to make up front. Another thing about this quote, something I realized, especially the first one, right? To secure ourselves against defeat lies in our own hands, but the opportunity of defeating the enemy is provided by the enemy himself. This is so true. Like I was saying earlier, right now I'm Tekken King. I'm on my way to Emperor with Xiaoyu. I promise you, 90% of the progress I've made so far has been because of defensive knowledge. I have an example to show you what I'm talking about, right? I'm going to show you a round of Tekken that I played against a Brian player not that long ago from the stream. And watch, I win. Spoilers, I win. But see what happens when I win. And there's actually many opportunities where he had the chance to win and I had a chance to win earlier too. Check this out. Let's continue. Okay. Low high. I know that's a low high, and I punished poorly, right? I could have launched that. If I was sharper, I could have launched that. This this Brian player gave me the opportunity to take away 50% of his health, and I didn't take it. He gave me the opportunity, and I missed it, right? Don't talk to me about Xiaoyu combos. Don't talk to me about Xiaoyu damage. That was an opportunity that I had to win, and I missed it. Were I a better player, he would already have 50% of his health gone. But I didn't. Let us keep watching. Oh. Okay, he whiffed orbital, and I'm about to go for the punish, but I'm late. And not only am I a little bit late, I'm super late, because after this move, she's minus 13 in AOP, which in reality is more like being minus 20 something, because she has no power crush out of this dance, and her fastest move is like 13 frames. So basically, I'm launch punishable here. If he is sharper, he will launch me, he will make me pay, but he does not. So now, it's my opportunity. I gave an opportunity, he didn't take it. Okay, he gets right on the mix. Okay, now this, if I beat him here, he lost the Tekken. He didn't lose the Tekken, he lost the mix-up. That's why I don't really like mix-ups. Because like, if he gets his low here, and I hit him with the mid, and I wall split him, he's about to die. And it won't be because he was bad at Tekken, right? He'll just be, he gets wrong. And I don't really like that. That's a part of the game, it is what it is. But this is, if you go back to my earlier rant where I'm like, I don't really think mix-ups are that great. I'm like, this is why. But it is part of Tekken. We both have to deal with it, right? He has to guess now. He guesses right. Good job. Okay? But he's still minus 5. Okay? Now he's fought back. So we're in this, right? Anyone's game. Now, there is a high there. If he had done the high, he'd have died right there. Because I would have ducked it. I would have launch punished him. He didn't give me the opportunity to beat him. Again, he didn't give me the opportunity to kill him there. But I'm looking for the opportunity to kill him. Okay? Keep watching. Okay? Counter hit, sidestep forward. What are you gonna do? Unlucky. Again, I don't think that's me being a superior Tekken player. He got unlucky. That happens. Sometimes you get caught with an errant launcher, get caught with an errant counter hit button. It happens. It is what it is. Okay. Classic poor Chad the Third wall situation. I could have got a lot more. I could have done more. I don't know Xiaoyu that well. Whatever. Uh-oh. You see that? I ducked that shit. He's dead now. He's dead now. This is when he died. See it again. Okay. I can't stress this enough. Many of my wins in Tekken are not because I've got some galaxy brain amazing Tekken player. And it's not because I'm using Xiaoyu's fucking mind-altering mix-ups. 9 times out of 10 when I win in this game, currently, maybe when I get better with Xiaoyu, I absolutely will just be completely robbing people with all kinds of shit. But 90% of the time when I win with Xiaoyu currently, it's because of shit like this. Like, my opponent gave me the opportunity to win, and I took it. But here's the thing. Imagine for a moment that I don't know to duck the string. What situation will I be in then? He'll be safe, and my back will be against the wall against fucking Dragon. Again, night and fucking day, bro. Night and fucking day. The difference between knowing to duck the string and not knowing to do this, knowing to duck the string and not knowing to duck the string is the difference between literally I win the match or I have to hold one of the most disgusting mix-ups in the game. Again, go into every match knowing that your opponent will give you opportunities to win and try to find them. And the thing is, this is true at all levels of play. At every level of play, your opponents will give you opportunities to win. But the higher and higher up you go, the fewer opportunities they will give you. That's the thing, right? The opportunities become rarer and rarer. And therefore, it becomes more and more important that when they give them to you, you fucking take them. Because Austin Ash is going to give you 1 per round, if that. Austin Ash is going to give you 1 opportunity to beat him per round. And if you don't take it, you die. I'm sorry, you just die. He'll give you 1. Someone less good than Austin Ash, but still in the tournament elite, might give you 2. Someone who is like really good at Tekken, but maybe in the god ranks, but not at the tournament level, might give you 3. But like, the number will go up the further up you get, the further down the skill ladder you get, right? But learning now that to approach Tekken with a mindset to be like, I want to find the gap that I know you will give me. Because in order to defeat me, in order to attack me, you have to leave yourself open in some way. And I will find the gap and I will blow you the fuck up. Okay? Got him. We win! Alright, good Tekken. That's it. So again, your opponents will give you the opportunity to win. They will. You just gotta help them get there. Okay, next, tip 3. It is the unemotional, reserved, calm, detached warrior who wins. Not the hothead seeking vengeance, and not the ambitious seeker of fortune. Next quote. Thus, the expert in battle moves the enemy and is not moved by him. Sun Tzu. But there's more. Other people have said this too. Epictetus. Any person capable of angering you becomes your master. He can anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed by him. This is Epictetus, another philosopher who I highly recommend. And Miyamoto Musashi. If you wish to control others, you must first control yourself. What is the point of this? Why have I smudged all of these ancient philosophical quotes together? Be cool. Be cool. Listen, we all get salty in this game. We all have our rages. We've all watched rage compilations. Isn't it funny when so-and-so streamer gets mad and fucking starts blasting, just starts saying all kinds of shit, right? It's fun. But one of the keys to success is being able to keep you cool in this game. And I get it. That is easier said than done, right? It is. But it doesn't, just because it's not easy, doesn't mean that you don't still have to do it, or at least try to. And again, this is something that we're all going to fail at, but it's something that we should be trying to do. And I think one of the things that concerns me a lot is that I think we have sort of normalized raging. And that's fine. You know, I'm not here to tell other people how to play or how to live their life. But I think there is a virtue in being able to keep you cool. And it's hard. And this game is very good at frustrating you. Make no mistake, I am very well aware of how frustrating this game can be. Trust me, I know. But that doesn't change the fact, though, that keeping your cool is a skill that is bigger than Tekken. And in some ways, when you think about it, video games are dumb. All video games don't matter, right? The only thing that really matters about video games are the friends we make along the way, as cheesy as that sounds, and also like the skills, the real world skills we might cultivate through this game. And I think one of the skills we could actually learn to cultivate through this game is keeping your cool, right? It's keeping your cool. That's actually something that can translate even well beyond Tekken. And I think it's something that as a community or as an individual, we should be trying to do. And again, I fail at this a lot, but I think it's important to see every time you fail at it as being a failure of like character. Like every time I'm playing this game and I allow myself to get fucking tilted by the king player who's like throwing me all the time, I'm like, fuck, not only am I losing the match, more importantly, I'm losing myself. Like, why am I letting this get to me? It's a stupid video game that I've decided to play. Like, what's going on here? And again, I'm not telling you, I'm not lecturing you. I'm not looking down, well actually I am kind of lecturing you, but I'm not looking down at you being like, oh, be cool like me. I fail at this too. But it's a failure. And I think we should all try to be a lot better. You know, one of my favorite streamers, maybe my favorite Tekken streamer, he stopped streaming now for a while. It's been like 4 months, but there's a guy, a king player called Chenzo. This motherfucker, man, he's the most chill dude ever. I don't know if anyone here is in the chat, if anyone here in the comments knows what I'm talking about with Chenzo, like, you know, post stories about this motherfucker. He's actually one of my favorite streamers. He's super chill. And like, it's kind of embarrassing when I watch him play, to be honest, because he's so calm and he's so like reserved that like, it makes me feel embarrassed about just how much I struggle to stay as calm as them. But more importantly, or just put a more positive spin on it, I'm often inspired by how he keeps his calm. And I think that's a virtue that we should all be trying to cultivate in ourselves. And I think if you're someone who struggles, if you're someone who can't stay calm when you play Tekken, I think you need to look inwards and be like, I need to focus on being calm. And I think sometimes when you boot up Tekken, instead of your focus being on, okay, I'm going to get X rank, or I'm going to win X% of games, I think sometimes your goal should be like, hey, I'm going to keep my cool. I'm going to make myself keep my cool. And I think if you boot up a game of Tekken or a session of Tekken, especially if it's like ranked or something, and you go, my goal right now is to keep my cool. Play good Tekken, keep my cool. And you succeed in it. And you deal with some fucked up shit. It may be some assholes got like a racist username, or like someone's key charging you when they win or whatever. Like whatever it is. Like someone's actively like just playing like a complete asshole. I think if you are able to keep your cool, that is a real victory. And again, this isn't like me giving you a sort of like participation trophy, kind of like, oh, everyone's a winner. No. It's a real win. That's real life shit. And it's a kind of win that will actually translate to other wins in the real world. Being able to keep your cool in this game. And I think if you're like me, who struggle to keep your cool in this game, I think that speaks to a weakness of character. And again, I'm not talking down to you. I fail at this a lot. And I think it's something that I'm trying to get better at. And I think as a community, we need to help each other get better at too. I know it's very fun on YouTube to watch people rage, which in turn encourages more people to rage, right? So I get it. I understand the content grind. But I think we could use a little bit more zen. Know what I mean? I think it'd be better for all of us. And so this is the tip that I think I'm the weakest at. And it's something that I think we need to get better at. So yeah, that's why I put it on the list. Tip 4. There is no instance of a nation benefiting from prolonged warfare. Chat translation. Take a break. Take a break. Sometimes you've got to take a break. I know I said earlier, hey, be cool. Be cool. Keep your calm. And you should keep your calm. But sometimes you should just be like, fuck it, I'm done playing today. I truly believe that Tekken is best played in short stints. I think most people intuitively know this to be the case. And so it's put me in a weird spot as someone who started to stream more regularly, because you want to do a stream that's like at least 2 hours, maybe 3 hours long. But like sitting down for 3 hours on rank just seems like a recipe for psychological disaster. It just seems like a nightmare, right? Because on top of like regular stresses of rank, you got motherfuckers in your chat. Thankfully, I actually have a really cool chat, really cool community. Feel free to join. We'd love to have you. But like, you have people in chat, like some people randomly come make fun of you, or even if they're not, even if they're actually being really supportive, your mind is split between having to deal with the demands of rank and Tekken, but also trying to be like a good streamer and communicate with the people who have taken time out of their life to communicate with you. It's stressful, right? And so I found a get around. I actually host a lot of lobbies now. So again, more reason to join us over on Twitch and jumping on the lobbies because they're a lot of fun. But like, if I wasn't streaming, I think I would genuinely, I think I've said this before in my ranked video, where I would literally just be like, hey, I'm gonna play 6 sets. That's it. I'm gonna play against 6, or I'm gonna do first to 6, sorry. That's kind of how I do it, first to 6. I'm either gonna win 6 ranked games, or I'm gonna lose 6 ranked games. See what happens first. And if I won 6 ranked games, if I've lost 6 ranked games, then I stop playing ranked. Good session, we won. If I lose 6 before I win 6, then I go, okay, that was a bad rank session. I'm gonna lab something. We're gonna look at one of the, whichever set I think I shouldn't have lost, or maybe all of them, or we're gonna look at the key rounds and be like, okay, what could I have learned? And take it away, right? For me, that's how I play ranked. Because for me, I view ranked as the exam and not the lesson, right? If you wanna learn something, you don't just take a bunch of exams in it. That's not how you learn. You do a bunch of lessons, and then you briefly take an exam to see what you've learned. And then if you come up short in the exam, which we often do, then you go back to the classroom. You go, okay, why did I come up short? Oh, I didn't know I could duck that. I didn't know I could do this. I didn't know I could move it. Got it, right? That to me is what ranked is for. Especially with the first to 3 setup. Now more than ever, ranked is not a lesson. It's exams, right? Which is part of why it feels so stressful. And I think that if you really want to learn, we should spar more and fight less. You know, I've said this many times, but like, I think the bigger tragedy of Tekken 8, the biggest failing of Tekken 8 is the removal of long sets in quick match. I've said it too many times before and I don't want to relitigate it, but like the ability to, let's say you're playing quick match and a Zafina comes up and you don't know there's a Zafina matchup. Being able to sit down and play this one Zafina play for 20 minutes straight. Maybe they beat you 15-0, right? But you will develop a flow. You will develop a sense. You will develop a feel, an organic feel for, oh, I shouldn't push a button here. Oh, he's gonna do something here. Oh, this is when that move comes out. Oh, these are the threats I need to do. I don't know how to deal with that. I need to know this. Let me experiment with this. Oh, I can duck that. Cool. You might lose 15 games straight, but you'll come away with maybe 1 or 2 things that you now know that you didn't know before, without even having to go to the lab, because you've figured it out in the game. But now that you have only best of 3s, even in quick match, you don't even get that, right? And so all the more reason why lobbies, which I host, are just the best. Because in lobbies, you can literally just play. There's no stress, win or lose, you're just sparring. There's no egos. There are people of all skill levels. So you're gonna come in with one guy who's like 5 ranks below, you're gonna body his ass, and you're gonna play another guy who's fucking Tekken God, and he's gonna destroy you. And it's like, all right, it is what it is, right? And you don't take it personally. If someone beats you and you felt kind of helpless, you can directly message them and be like, hey, well, how the fuck do I deal with this? And be like, hey, you gotta duck that. Watch out for this trick. And you can be like, all right, cool. Like, that is a far more useful environment to play this game and to learn this game, and will improve you in all areas, right? So yeah, again, this might sound obvious to a lot of you. It sounds pretty obvious to me, but the importance of taking breaks and focusing more on, again, back to tip 1, preparing for the war, preparing for fights, right? Spend most time preparing, studying, labbing, fighting consequence-free matches with people, and then going to ranked as an exam to be like, I think I've progressed. Let's see if I have. Oh, I haven't. Or I have not progressed enough to progress further. Okay, cool. Go back to the classroom. Yeah, I think that's the optimal way to improve in this game and to have a healthy, fun Tekken 8 experience overall. All right. Last but not least, tip 5. Even the finest sword plunged into salt water will eventually rust. Sun Tzu. Chat translation: you are who you engage with. This is actually a fairly common piece of wisdom spread throughout most schools of philosophy, most religions. The idea that who you associate with has a greater impact on who you will eventually end up being or who you will transform into over the next coming years than maybe any other factor. And this is true in Tekken, right? If you want to be the best, you got to play the best. It's that simple. And it actually highlights something that I've talked about multiple times, which I call the tragedy of ranked, right? For those of you who have not seen my other videos, the tragedy of ranked is this. You're a beginner rank, right? So the game naturally pairs you up against other beginners. And so what happens is you will develop a game plan that works against beginners. And eventually you'll level up and you feel good because you've leveled up. But then you get stuck and you don't really know why you're stuck, because what you were doing before is no longer working. And the truth is, what you were doing before was trash. It was always trash, but you didn't know it was trash because it was working against beginners. But now you're dealing with a higher caliber of player. So now, not only do you have to learn new things, but even more stressfully, you now have to unlearn a lot of the things that got you here in the first place. So very often, as I've said multiple times, the things that got you into these ranks are often the exact same things that are stopping you from going in the ranks above, right? And even if we're not talking about rank, even if we're just talking about progression, this is often the case. You will develop a gimmicky playstyle, not because you're dumb or anything, but because that literally works. It literally works. You'll do what works until it stops working, right? It's not really your fault. And so a lot of the time, getting better in Tekken requires you to unlearn things, and you can end up falling into a trap. So why am I putting this slide here? I'm putting this here because a lot of people, they've come to my streams or they've asked questions, and they've wanted to know, how do I progress as fast as humanly possible? How do I get as good as possible, as quickly as possible? And I actually have an answer. Like, if you really want to get as good as possible, as quick as possible, you kind of need to leave the sort of ranked ladder, and you need to just encounter people, right? Whether it's through character discords, whether it's through like engaging with like content creators and stuff, and like and or discords or whatever. Like, you need to encounter people, and even having one highly experienced rival can work wonders. Like like I personally have friends, like I have God of Destruction friends who body me on a regular basis, and I like playing against them because they keep me honest, they keep me sharp. Like, these are people who, if I whiff something, they will punish me and I will die, and it makes me very conscious about like my spacing, and I can feel my brain being pushed to the frontier of its ability, and it's way better than playing 20 randoms on ranked or in quick match, right? Like, and this is true regardless of where you are in the rank ladder. Like, gaining access to higher skilled players, they don't have to be world beaters. I'm not talking about you have to get JDCR, but like just getting players who are better than you and playing them on a regular basis, even if that means that you end up losing more often than winning, will make you much better. It's worked for me, it's working for other players. I actually have a player who is regular on my stream, I Hate Wasps. Hello, I Hate Wasps. And like, I play this guy all the freaking time. And what's really funny is that at first he's playing Ling and I'm playing Ling, and he's been playing Ling longer than me, right? But I've been playing Tekken longer than him, right? So I was bodying it, but I was showing him that the reason I'm beating him, just like I said in tip 2, was like, I'm beating you because you keep doing moves that are very exploitable. So I just wait for you to hang yourself and then I blow you up. And literally over the course of maybe just 2 weeks, I have watched him like skyrocket in skill, like skyrocket, because he just stops the opportunity that I'm looking for to kill him with. He doesn't give them to me anymore. I'm like, oh fuck, now I have to actually have to like play him at real Tekken, and it's way harder, right? And he still hasn't beaten me yet, but he keeps saying, I'm gonna beat you. One of these days I'm gonna beat you. One of these days I'm gonna beat you. And you know what? He is gonna beat me. Eventually he will. I'm not gonna make it easy for him, but eventually he will, right? But even before that, he's already getting so much better so quickly. It's unbelievable. And again, like I said, we have lobbies. Feel free to join us. And like, he's often playing against all kinds of players. Some players who are better than him, some players who are worse than him. And I'm just watching him just like hone his skills over, and I can't stress enough how short it's been. I'm talking literally over the course of like a couple of weeks. Like, he just makes smarter decisions because he's playing against people who will exploit his bad decisions. And so, yeah, again, common sense, but really, you should try to be picky about who you play Tekken with. Like, the idea that if I just play lots and lots of Tekken, I'll inevitably get better isn't true. Because if you play lots and lots of Tekken against bad players, you won't get better. You'll stagnate, or maybe even get worse, right? But if you play lots of Tekken, or even just a little bit of Tekken, but with people who are better than you, you'll improve a lot more. So again, quality of Tekken is way more important than quantity of Tekken. Like, that's really important. You need some quantity too. Like, there is a certain amount of just like getting the reps in, getting your experience. Like that's important too. But I'm telling you, you don't have to grind at Tekken to get good at Tekken. Far from it. Like, it's better to play a little bit of good high-level Tekken than it is to play lots and lots of trashy Tekken. That's the truth. But in my opinion, the value of this quote is not just about mechanical skill and getting good at playing Tekken. I also think it has a lot to do with mental too. Because that's the thing, right? There's a lot of toxicity in our community. You don't need me to tell you that. There's a lot of motherfucking toxicity in our community, right? And if you're not careful, that shit will seep into you. It just will. Not because you're dumb or because you're weak-willed, but because you're a human being. That's just the nature of things, right? And like I said, I like to talk shit too. I think talking shit is part of the FGC, but I think it's very important to talk shit about characters and not players of characters. You know what I mean? I think it's fun to talk shit about the experience, but not necessarily of people. And it's a fine line to navigate. And I'm pretty sure I've probably fallen on the wrong side of that every once in a while. And if someone calls me out on it, I'll apologize, because that's not my nature. I don't want to be doing that. But like, it's really important, I think, to it's important not to feed the toxic elements of the community, because one of the best things about being part of a small community is that you, dear viewer, actually have an outsized effect on it, whether you know it or not, right? Like, if you as a Tekken player choose to be, you know, playful, funny, kind, helpful, supportive, the community will become more of those things, genuinely. Conversely, if you choose to be fucking bitter, salty, rageful, obnoxious, the community becomes more of those things, right? So I guess the point I'm trying to make here is that in this quote, not only are you the sword, but you're also the water in some way. And so each of us have to decide not only what kind of water do we want to be in to avoid rust, but perhaps more importantly, what kind of water do we want to be for others? I think that's kind of the key point. And as I've said multiple times in multiple videos, I would like to be and to try to cultivate an environment for players who just want to improve in this stupid game, because it doesn't matter, right? Yeah, and I'd encourage you to try and do the same. So as always, people, be excellent to each other, and until next time, peace.